At the base of my grandmother's garden stands the apple tree. It is old, enduring, host to many forms of life, from aging to rotted to me, the codling. She has lived and lived and lived, shows no glimpse of slowing, seasonally thrusting new life into the air, constantly sipping on the carbon dioxide treat, the fast, the diet has turned to gluttony, herself gorging this human afterthought, the inside of her arms, her legs, her trunk holding the marrow of past, the tiny rings of significance, a truth we only glimpse through ruin, through death. There is an authorised view of our past, of the rustic and the medieval, a sepia tint over heaving meadows, tawny hair, ruddy shoulders. Poverty, injustice, suffering simmered out to make apple crumble, to spoon into Emma Bridgewater bowls and call golden, romanticised, but the love that suffused it called simple, common, dull, replaced with ideals. Times were better then, we think. Crumble, burning our tongues, when we dreamed only of fertility and not of progress. The tree saw before we did, change hugging our waists from behind, a lover's grip tightening like a vice. She saw us come to forget unrestricted breathing, saw the corset of limbs laced around our kind. Nostalgia is sap. It coats emotion with viscous ignorance, blurs our eyes from seeing our inevitable failure, glamourizes smiles on mouths that had no teeth, just painful abscesses, just painful lack authorised by the state. When we place distance between ourselves and it, the lashing strikes of their suffering cannot reach. So we yearn for that simplicity, craving those bruises that hadn't bloomed yet. When my mother told me of my great-grandfather's rage, I felt the branches of that old apple tree tremble. We think of past as noble and humble and right, that to be working class is to endure, but to think of a swinging fist, gobbet of spit, violence flowing through my veins, as acidic as a cooking apple. I understood then why I find bruises spreading on my limbs unbidden. I understood that the collective flesh is polluted. My family tree witnessed it all. The famine, strikes, industrial massacres painted as revolutions, red with the blood of her brethren felled for firewood, felled for progress. She stayed alive through the grit, laughter, pride that clouds our blood like juice. My ancestors cultivated their own. What would they think of us? My spread of generations. The older, bleeding palm oil, the younger, fretting over scribbles they were deemed unfit to read. They would brand us rotten, step in us with grim delight, feel the softness of our flesh squish between their toes. They would pluck us, bawling, face down, grind us down with their heels, make us into cider to toast with. On bucolic evenings we long to touch from our hollowed out cores, out of reach in our decaying world.